God hates Italians, and that's why he gave them the boot. Welcome back to Bizarre Podcast, Dogs Must Die. My name is Grant. You can call him Chip. And today we are talking about episodes 36 and 37 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind.
You know, I previously said, like, oh boy, we're going to see even more ridiculous powers from from Silver Chariot Requiem. But I also kind of forgot everything else that happens here. Like, I only remember
we see a lot of completely ridiculous things unrelated to Silver Chariot.
Yeah. It's I only remembered the very broad strokes of these two episodes, and so I was just frequently saying, "Me
too," and I just watched them.
Yeah, and so while rewatching these, I was going, "What?" all over again, which is pretty good.
Oh, all right. So let's not leave the people in suspense. Let's get right into Episodio 36, Diavolo surfaces.
Ooh.
And we start with Doppio having a very, very bad time.
Mm-hmm.
He's waking up in Bruno's body, which is dead and dying and shot several times.
Yep. And so he's just kind of talking to himself as he's bleeding out everywhere, and it's raining on top of his dead corpse and also dying corpse. And basically saying with his final words here, like, "Aw, shit, I guess I don't entirely know how this happened, but I guess I got separated from the boss. You know, I'd do anything for the boss if he can, you know, realize his goal and all this. But, man, I wish he would call me just one more time." And there's like a cell phone on the ground near him, and he tries to reach for it.
This is Doppio's death scene.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we've seen so many people just pass out and appear to be dead and then show up alive later. But no, this is, let me just tell you, because the show doesn't make it as explicit as it could, this is Doppio's death scene.
Yeah.
And, like, it's tragic because so much of who Doppio is only really comes out in the final moments. Like, yeah, he has truly understood all along the exact nature of his relationship to the boss.
Yeah.
And he really, really loves the boss, like in a pure-hearted and open way that the boss is completely incapable of.
Yeah.
But it does. It does make you think back to that fortune teller in Sardinia who said that as long as the two were joined, they would be unstoppable. Situations changed as we go into the OP, and we are not seeing Doppio again.
Yep. Goodbye, Doppio.
Like, a lot of people are dying, and a lot of people are getting, like, some scene to underline this is an important person who has died. Doppio doesn't get that.
No.
Because Doppio is all alone in the world with only me to love him.
Rest in peace, Doppio. You're a good boy, maybe doing bad things, but you're a good boy.
Terrible, terrible things. Frightfully bad things. Please stop putting your finger behind people's eyeballs.
Oh, Jesus Christ, I forgot about that. Ugh.
So yes, we are catching up with all of our boys in all of their various mixed up bodies. Your mixed up body and you from the ad council. Now, as they are chasing Silver Chariot Requiem, who's carrying the arrow.
Well, the Silver Chariot does not have the arrow. It's actually in Polnareff's mouth, his turtle mouth.
Yes, that is right.
I just love the shots you see of Turtle Polnareff with the arrow in his little mouth. And he's just screaming at Mista to, like, "Hey, you're the closest. Stab your stand with this arrow." And his little turtle body is sweating bullets. Like,
Turtles don't sweat. Turtles don't sweat.
Like, vibrating, like, struggling to hold the arrow in his mouth like it's the heaviest thing in the world for his little turtle body. It's so cute looking.
Silver Chariot Requiem has the ability to swap souls and glands. That is why this makes sense.
Yeah.
The gland stuff just hasn't come up yet.
Glands are part of the soul, which is why they transfer.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
Yep, sure does. Nothing else to think about there.
So yeah, Silver Chariot is rushing toward the arrow to get it back from Pulna Turtle. And Mista, like, squares up and tries to fire to stop his charge, but the gun falls apart into little bits. Nobody can stop Silver Chariot Requiem except Mista and his backup gun. He has a second gun.
Yes, he swiped a Beretta from that cop from the previous episode that was like catcalling, and he blasted a hole through the cop's mouth and then handcuffed him through the mouth to that pole. Yeah. So yeah, they blast a couple holes into Silver Chariot's face and it falls over. Misa's like, hey, fucking Sex Pistols, why is my gun just falling to pieces?
And the Sex Pistols disagree. Number 5 floats the idea that maybe they were sabotaged by the boss. And number 7 says, shut up, you loser. Everyone hates you.
Yeah.
This is a clear-cut case of metal fatigue. And, of course, you have to remember that number 7 is the one that sounds like a old-timey rootin'-tootin' Westerner.
Yeah. There's been no time recently to, like, maintain the gun, and so you've just been using that gun a lot. So this cylinder just wore, like, the axle in the cylinder wore down, and the thing popped off.
I find this unbelievable.
Yeah.
There is no world in which Guido Mista is negligent in his gun maintenance, right?
Yeah.
That's like number 2 right below little pastrami's for his friends.
Yeah, it's the same thing as saying, oh, Naked Snake forgot to maintain his gun. No, it wouldn't happen.
No, God, no.
It's his baby.
That's the same as saying Solid Snake didn't hit on a woman uncomfortably. No!
And so while they're talking about that, Silver Chariot gets back up again and just grabs the arrow. Even though it's still got the arrow, continues to just charge towards Polnareff. It's no longer just okay with defending the arrow. These people keep fucking interfering, so now it's out to just kill whoever was holding the arrow last.
Yeah. They finally tripped his enemy flag. Like, all right, time to fuck y'all up.
Yep.
So it gets shot again, and also punched by Gold Experience.
Yes.
Canonically, the weakest puncher of all the punch stands.
Yeah, it gets like its legs and one of his arms blown off or something like that. It gets some limb blown off by Mista's gun.
For being a super indestructible stand, it's very destructible. Like,
it's just
you can't stop it by blowing its parts off, but those parts come off real easy.
Yeah. But even with his parts blown off, it's still able to, like, lunge forward and hop very quickly on one leg.
Yes!
And it just starts going...
No, both of its legs are blown off. It's just running around on little stumps.
Oh, right. It's just on stumps, yeah.
It's very goofy looking.
Yeah, and so it just starts going towards Polnareff, which Mista is now holding on to like he's a fucking football.
As he leaps up onto a lamppost and climbs up to safety, barely getting away.
Yeah. And Misa's like asking the pistols, like, hey, can you reload my gun? And they stress, and they stress this again later. It takes longer for the Sex Pistols to reload a Beretta because it's in a magazine and not a revolver.
Yeah. They can't just slide bullets right into the chamber. They gotta
pop it out and
fill the magazine and blah blah blah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is when something bursts through this lamppost that Mista is climbing upon, and knocks Polnareff out of his grip onto the ground, and that is when, like, okay, I made this comparison last week, but he's a mutant turtle.
Yeah,
he is a currently mutating turtle. And we know this because a brown, fleshy lobster claw comes out of the shell as a second head, but not really because it's followed by an actual second head.
Yeah, like a weird little fish monster head.
Yeah.
Just starts coming out like right next to his turtle head.
So another one of Chariot Requiem's abilities is everyone that got sleepy and got swap seed is now also mutating in its remit to protect this arrow at all costs. It's turning everyone into disgusting flesh monsters.
Yeah, but Polnareff starts monologuing briefly about, like, for 4.5 billion years, evolution has been able to take its course freely or whatever. And now Silver Chariot's just doing whatever the fuck he wants. And so, yeah, you see...
He's not wrong.
Yeah, and so you see Chariot Requiem just with the arrow again, and gluing all of its limbs back together, just walking down the road, and everybody it walks past now has like extra eyeballs grown out of their face or bones.
The one shot of an eyeball growing underneath someone's skin on the side of their face.
Yeah.
And then it slides forward until it comes out, and now there's 2 eyeballs in one eye socket.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It's spooky. Yeah, there's one lady who has like a whole extra mouth and face grown out of the side of her face, and it's kind of like pushing her original face to the side a bit. Yeah.
As we are seeing the effects of this latest step on Requiem's tech tree, his stride has changed. He doesn't look like a confident swagger. He looks like very stiff and focused, and the way he walks, he might have to poop. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
He's Polnareff's after all.
Mm-hmm.
But now the boss finally makes himself known to the viewer by internal monologue represented by seeing King Crimson's face like superimposed, semi-transparent over events as he watches them unfold and talks to himself about how, yes, he sees this clear path to victory to seize the arrow and its power.
Yeah, this whole time, wherever the boss is hiding, he's been using this time to kind of just study Silver Chariot Requiem to figure out its weakness or how it could get around its abilities to get the arrow. And meanwhile, the gang is freaking out about, hey, everyone's suddenly mutating and evolving at a rapid pace. And Trish in Misa's body is like, well, first everyone's looking around going like, well, it doesn't look like it hurts. No one's in pain. They're just sitting there turning into horrible monsters. So I guess it doesn't hurt. Not that bad. And then Trish and Misa's body is just like, well, it's pretty bad for my mental state to think about this, though. and
also she sees her finger, which for now isn't her finger, splitting open to reveal it is happening to them as well.
Yeah.
This is basically just a ticking clock, I guess.
Yeah.
But in the form of disgusting body horror.
Yeah.
Life being created by something that you told what animals look like, and he wasn't exactly listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got eyes? Yeah, okay. All right. I can work with that.
Just wherever. Who knows? So everyone is on the run again.
Until Giorno, for perhaps the last time, says, hey, everybody, cool it. Stop for a second.
Yeah.
I've looked at a gun.
Yeah, everyone fucking stop exactly where you are. Everyone keep a good distance from everyone else. This gun's weird.
This gun's weird. I'm pretty sure that Mista's busted gun was busted by Sabotage. Thank you, number 5. You are always my favorite. I love you, little man. And everybody's like, Giorno, shut the fuck up. They're getting away. My hand is turning inside out. We gotta go.
Yeah.
And Giorno says, no. I've turned part of this gun into a mole and asked it to find a different missing part of this gun. And when we have all the parts together, we'll be able to see whether this is just metal fatigue or sabotage.
The mole very easily finds that part, and Giorno explains more than we need to know. And he's like, this mole is basically blind, but he's got a really good sniffer, which means he can find the gun part that he is also made out of very easily. Oh, look, here's the mole with the gun part. Let's put it on the gun part. Ah, shit. The gun part doesn't quite fit anymore because it's been twisted up. This has got to be Sabotage. Who's the boss?
That mole is adorable, though.
It's really cute.
It's the cutest little guy that Giorno's ever made. More mammals. Giorno, please, more mammals. Yeah, they're fluffy and sweet.
Yeah, Giorno's really got to make some more cute stuff to make up for all the snakes.
Maybe some birds?
Oh, yeah.
Look, I'm not saying snakes can't be cute. I'm definitely saying the ones he's made, not particularly cute.
Yeah, you got to make like the little baby snakes or garden snakes or something. Or the snake from that picture of an actual real life snake eating bread.
That's a pretty okay snake.
That's a good snake. He looked happy to eat on that bread.
This is what really seals the idea that now everyone believes Diavolo did get put into one of their bodies. He's sharing a person again, like he always does, but they don't know which. And Giorno's top suspect is Trish's body, rooming with Mista, while Mista is sure that Diavolo is not there inside with him, and sets himself against anyone who would suggest such a thing.
Yeah. And so Giorno is going to do a test, and it makes me think of that scene from The Thing where they're doing the blood tests one by one with everybody to see who's got the thing in them.
I mean, these mutations might also make you think of a lot of other scenes from The Thing.
At least no one's head has fallen off and started chasing people yet.
Yet. But Giorno also points out that this, now that they know what's what, this is actually a huge tactical advantage because the boss is not able to pilot whatever body he's sharing. So as long as they figure out where he is, they've got him trapped in a flesh prison. They have him totally constrained.
Yeah, because if he had control, he would have killed everybody by now. And so Giorno has a way to figure out where the boss is, and that is, hey, when he was checking out his own body when it previously had Narancia in it, Narancia got killed, he could kind of detect the absence of a soul with the touch of golden experience, so therefore...
So surely he could detect a double dose of soul.
Yeah.
And he demonstrates by grabbing Polnareff and does a little gold glow and is like, there's one dude in there, certified one dude.
Yeah. Now he's going to go to Mista in Trish's body, and Mista hates this.
Yeah, speaking of John Carpenter movies, this is They Live. He does not want to wear the glasses, and he will fight you for half an hour over it.
Oh my god. Oh my god, a JoJo version of that fight scene would be incredible.
So yeah, he does not want to be touched. He refuses to be part of this. Like, hey, how do we know it's not you? You could be lying, huh? How do you know? And Bruno breaks this stalemate by volunteering to go first. Yes. Let's see if the boss stayed home and he's in here with me.
Yeah. It's just like, okay, before I actually go and walk any closer to test this, Giorno decides he's got to have a way to make sure that the boss isn't jumping out at any second, so he bites his finger and does the Polnareff trick of just having the blood drops.
Just wear a watch. Just wear a fucking watch.
None of these people got watches. They got to really update their fashion game to incorporate
watches.
Yeah.
There are high-end Italian fashion watches.
They really got to incorporate that into their thing here. So yes, all we got are blood drops to go with. And so Giorno is very slowly walking forwards towards Bruno in Diavolo's body. And once he gets within just a few steps, suddenly time jumps forward. And he's an extra half step forward. There's a bunch of extra blood in his hand. Aw, shit, where's the boss?
And we find out when King Crimson leaps behind Giorno's back and punches Gold Experience's arm off. Again, always just punching arms off this guy.
Yep.
And everyone wheels around because it looks like King Crimson popped out of Trish Mista, but actually it popped out of Mista Trish.
Yes. Yeah, Diavolo the whole time was hiding in, riding along with Trish's soul and Mista's body. When everyone thought at first that Diavolo was coming out of Trish's body, that's when Trish pulled out Spice Girl to attack. And then it's like, ooh, whoopsie daisy, Dad's with you. And so King Crimson just pops out and grabs Spicy Lady. And Diavolo's like, oh man, fucking finally you pulled your stand out. Now that I've got it by the neck and arms, I can just move your stand's limbs around, therefore moving your body's limbs around, and I have full control over Misa's body now. I can just puppeteer him.
It's like he did the Doppio swap, but with extra steps, essentially.
Yeah. It's a body that he can't normally control unless he's physically puppeteering it.
So our mid-episode title card is just an updated swap diagram now that we know where everybody is and where everybody was. R.I.P. Doppio. So yeah, this situation also explains why Trish couldn't use her daddy sense to find him.
Yes.
They were sharing space together.
So everyone is just like, well, one, Giorno's just in a ball on the ground in the background because his fucking arm got punched off.
Yeah, but that happens to him like every day. He's fine.
Yeah, he's fine. And so it's just Bruno and Mista here who are like, oh, fuck. They try to close in on Diavolo here. And over the course of one frame, Mista's body is there and then it's not.
Yeah.
Just eliminates time so he can get a head start of running towards Silver Chariot Requiem.
Yep, he's finally got motor control of a sense, and damn it, he's going to use it. So yeah, he's running down the streets, dodging Sex Pistols' fire through time obliteration in some fun ways.
Yeah, it's pretty good. There's a part where Bruno's like shouting at Misa, like, what are you doing? Fucking fire your gun. And Misa's like, I already did, and I don't remember doing it, because he fired the gun while time was getting eliminated. So there's smoke coming out of the barrel. And
And so the little guys are riding the bullets through the streets, curving them around, zigzagging them. But King Crimson just obliterates any moment where he would be hit. He's dodging. There's one really cool setup where dodging one bullet, it then, passes through him and knocks over a lamppost. And then when he dodges around another one, that lamppost gets in the way of this second bullet.
Yes.
Like a twofer on that. It's fun.
yeah, it's pretty good.
And so it is time to talk about shadows, I guess.
Oh my fucking god. When I saw what happens here for the very first time a couple years ago when this episode aired, I just said, what the fuck? I like the solution that's going to happen. I wish it happened slower.
Let it be known that at no point previous to this sequence has Chariot Requiem's shadow been highlighted. I don't think it's ever been visible before this point. There's certainly been nothing calling attention to it until Diavolo's like, that shadow is the key.
Yeah.
Because whenever I look at it, it's pointed away from me regardless of any light sources around. Therefore, it extends away from the viewer. I'm sure that if I'm standing here, on his right, it points to the left. But if, Bruno was standing south, it would point north. And therefore, this shadow does not exist truly in a physical, verifiable state. And this is because Chariot Requiem itself is the silhouette of the soul. It is the shadow of one's own mind. C is for Catwoman.
Yeah.
And so this is the quality of Chariot Requiem, which allows it to hijack stands. And so to eliminate this ability and neutralize Requiem as a whole, you must eliminate the shadow. And the way to eliminate the shadow is to the way you do with anything else, to eliminate the light source projecting the shadow. What is the light source of the shadow? It is the little golden ball, the mind orb hovering behind my eyes at all times.
Yeah.
Y'all know about the mind orb, right?
So Diavolo is just like, and Diavolo is one. Basically, from here on out, Diavolo's English voice actor crushes every scene. He is shouting just with bloody rage at all times. It rules. And he says this so angrily and so confidently, all of this absolutely makes 100% sense.
You can't do it any other way. If there's any hesitation, if there's any trepidation, House of Cards all blows away.
Yeah, and so, yes, with Silver Chariot Requiem, it's just, there is a golden soul mind orb behind everyone at all times when this stand is active. That is the actual stand, that is the actual source of light that casts the shadow that makes you see Silver Chariot Requiem. And so Diablo's just like, Eureka! I'll punch the ball behind my head! And so he does, and Silver Chariot Requiem fucking explodes.
So the ball is Chariot Requiem and not an aspect of the self?
I don't know.
I thought the ball was an aspect of the self because of what happens the next time the ball is important.
Right. No, you're right. I was...
But what you say makes more sense, except for this other thing that I'm not quite talking about yet. But you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Oh, God. Uh-huh.
I can't believe... I mean, everybody knows about the mind orb. I can't believe we've made it to like the 72nd, 73rd episode and haven't talked about the mind orb all this time. Mm-hmm. It's been in every shot. Like, they're always talking about this. The mind orb predates Hamon, and for some reason we haven't mentioned it.
No, yeah.
So yeah. King Crimson winds up for a big haymaker punch that lands behind its own head and obliterates the golden mind orb, which just explodes the top half of Chariot Requiem into that, like, rubberized, oily goo. And, of course, it releases the grip on the arrow. He seizes the arrow, but he forgot one very important thing. Mm-hmm. Nobody is better at this absolute bullshit than Giorno Giovanna.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because he has some tricks up his own sleeve.
It's some Looney Tunes shit that he does right here.
This is one of the most grounded things he does, because this is all set up like earlier in Golden Wind, and the foundation of this move is laid in Diamond is Unbreakable.
Oh my God.
Frankly.
Yeah, you're right.
So the move is, all right, once he got his arm punched off, there was some blood, obviously, as you might imagine. Mm-hmm. And some of that blood landed on the fist of King Crimson and dried. And you know what shed and dried blood is? Dead stuff. We know this.
Yeah.
And dead stuff can get turned into living creatures, like, say, carpenter ants that crawl up off of King Crimson's fist and onto the wooden shaft of the arrow, already broken once, now about to be chewed straight through, as the arrowhead, the only important part, falls to the ground again.
Yeah.
This is like 4 straight episodes of people being unable to hold a simple object.
Yeah. I love the way Giorno transforms the blood into the carpenter ants, because he just it's like he's a fucking magician or something, where you do a bunch of random bullshit and then like you snap your fingers and fucking abracadabra.
He snaps his fingers. It's amazing.
Yeah, just snap your fingers. The blood are carpenter ants now.
They can't catch us if cars are frogs. Also, if blood are ants.
Yeah.
So, in all of that time, it is just what Sex Pistols needed to reload a third magazine into the Beretta. And so Mista fires 2 quick shots at King Crimson to keep his old body busy, and 4 at the arrow to kick it up high into the air.
Yeah.
This does not work because the boss saw it coming and threw a mutant man in the way to catch all that fire.
Those 4 bullets annihilate this mutated man. Like, you know how I think I brought this up in a previous episode to describe how fucked up a guy gets in JoJo. But the guy who gets covered in toxic ooze in RoboCop, and then he gets hit by the car and he just goes into fucking everywhere. Yeah, it's like that.
Mutation, kids, not even once.
Yep.
But this is after, of course, doing the fucking Wonder Woman pose flare to like backhand away the 2 bullets that were supposed to tie him up. Mm-hmm. You can't tie up King Crimson. He's master of time.
Yeah.
So even though this latest pair of gambits have not worked, they do get congratulated. The whole crew, at least the survivors, are like given basically a sarcastic applause.
Yeah.
For making Diavolo work harder than he ever has in his life to maintain his position, to maintain everything that is important to him. They even found out his identity. No one's managed that before. Good job, kids.
Yeah.
As he reaches down to grab that arrowhead up off the pavement, and it doesn't work.
Yeah, his hand reaches towards the arrow, and as he's about to grab it, he loses control of his arm, and his hand hits the arrow in a way that it kicks it way up into the air towards Mista and Trish's body. And he's like, hey, what the fuck?
This super high, super long arc. So long, we're going to have at least 2 conversations while this arrow is airborne.
Yeah. Imagine how long a football game must take in the world of JoJo. Holy shit. The commercial breaks are shorter than the talking.
Yeah, they have to sub in commentary teams because their throats are so raw by the end.
Yeah, they got to take naps.
So the way this works is in that reach and then that sort of spasm that caused this arm spasm, you might have noticed that there are 2 long rubber bands extending from the back of King Crimson's hand. Mm-hmm. Those bands were the bullets that got blocked. Yeah. That were softened and stretched and released by Spice Girl in secret. She just basically snapped him with big long rubber bands made of softened bullets. Because Trish has been awake this whole time, just waiting for the perfect moment, which is now, in order to defy her father's will.
Yeah.
This is really, Golden Wind is one long story of teenage rebellion.
It really is.
So that's not going to stand. We can't accept this.
No.
And what I mean by that is it's time for King Crimson to punch through Spice Girl like so many of the boss's victims before, which in this puppetry also launches Mista's body high, but not too high. A much lower, much more direct route underneath the high arc of the arrow on an intercept course.
Yes. Punches his daughter's soul to catapult him towards the arrow.
And so, yeah, our cliffhanger ending is that Spice Girl sure looks like Trish is dying here, like everybody else who's gotten the big puncture punch, even though it took a while for death to set in that one case.
Yeah, and we get the cliffhanger with Bruno just shouting like, Trish, ah!
But before we move on, I do so much respect for the guy that voices the boss in English, because he's the bossiest he's ever been to sell this nonsense and still make it intimidating and scary. And while he's doing that 110%, just the very I sit alone on the apex of eternity, Bucciarati, all that stuff. For him to also be Bucciarati at the same time with his very centered and focused direct authority, no frills, just killing you, that is Bruno.
Yeah.
It's really nice. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed these 2 episodes a lot more in the English dub, because I think the English boss is just superior to the Japanese version. He sells it so hard. And makes this really goofy, wacky shit that's happening work way better for me.
Of all the swapped people, the swapped performances, if I was going to rank them, it's number 1, Trish's actor as Mista. Yeah. Number 2, Diavolo's actor as Bruno, and everybody else also does really well, but those 2 are just exemplary.
Yep. Extremely good.
Episodio 37, King of Kings. We begin by recapping the punch launch and the apparent death of Trish Una. I keep saying Trish.
Trish. Mista and Trish in Mista's body. Trish stuff. Ugh, that feels bad to say.
And then we get the opening with sound effects. Oh my goodness.
Yep.
This is not the last episode. This is the 3rd to last episode. I'm expecting next week to be really stuffed episodes. So yeah, back in the action, Trish's soul, her glowing blue soul, has visibly separated from Mista's body. The boys are very, very worried about that, as King Crimson clasps his hands around that arrowhead that he launched himself toward, and it pierces through one of his palms and is now exiting the back of the hand.
Yep. The boss is psyched, oh, hell yeah, I'm gonna get this grand power.
Soon I will be made of glowy balls, or perhaps could be defeated by glowy balls that everyone naturally has.
Yep. But as, he waits for the power to course through him, the arrow just goes all the way through his hand. And he's like, huh? What the fuck? And he grabs the arrow again, and the arrow just keeps slipping through his hands, not even like piercing them, just passing through it. And he notices his hands are like transparent. They're not corporeal.
Yeah, and there's no big glowy flash of light or anything cool like that. And so he shouts, "What foul affliction have you handed me?"
Yeah.
Love that guy. And as he takes a look at his surroundings, he sees that, I mean, the half-melted remains of Chariot Requiem are now emitting this cyan mist.
Yes.
Which is separating everyone's souls from their bodies. That's what's really going on with Trish. She's not dying. She's going home, and so is everybody else.
Yep. And this is when fucking Bruno pipes in to fuck over the boss.
In the most Bruno way possible. So, yeah, his whole thing is like no sense of self-preservation. Last time he fought the boss, he died, but still won.
Yeah.
It's time to do it again. So yeah, Sticky Fingers is out and just destroying his own mind orb, his golden light orb of the self. Is that what the soul is? I thought stands were what the soul is. Is the mind separate from the soul? And this is this is why I wish. These are the questions I have,
Yeah.
So yes, he's obliterating his mind marble entirely.
Yeah.
Because he is the king of determinazione, and he knows that this is the end for him. His borrowed time is over, and this is how he's ending it, on his own terms.
Mm-hmm.
And the boss responds as if this is a job interview. For who gets to have the arrow. He's like, wait a minute, buddy, I am the most qualified candidate here.
I love the body language that they animate into King Crimson here. He's kind of hunched over and sweating, and he, like, both hands, like, with all the four fingers extended, like, he's just, like, pointing at himself, like, fucking look at me, dude!
There must be someone with absolute dominion over all life, death, and reality on Earth, obviously, and who's going to do a better job than me? Come on, let me have this.
Like he's straight up just trying to bargain with Bruno. He's so desperate. I love it.
And again, he cannot imagine someone with a different way of looking at the world. Like he has the authoritarian, despotic influence, and like so many who do, believes everyone else does too. They're just too polite to say so.
Yeah. And so, yeah, Bruno just unzips his mind orb all the way, and what's left of Silver Chariot Requiem just explodes, and everyone's souls start zipping back to their own bodies.
Everybody's souls go home, including this moth and wasp that we've never seen before, but just exists to illustrate this.
Mm-hmm.
But Bruno's home isn't that destroyed body.
Mm-hmm.
Bruno's home is the hallowed halls of heaven.
Yes. His soul's getting the Joseph Joestar treatment, where he becomes a big golden, or Avdol and Iggy even. He's getting the big golden wispy cloud soul in the sky.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. His shining golden spirit ascends. And he has some farewell words for his friend and inspiration, Giorno Giovanna, that when Giorno entered his life, quote, "My soul was reborn."
Yeah.
That was a week ago, let me remind you.
Damn.
But, I mean, this does work, like, especially in context of his flashback. Like, there was something that he could not accept. He could deny and just get the work done to be a mafioso under the boss, but he could not, in his truest heart of hearts, serve a man who sold drugs to kids.
Yes. Yep.
And having that made clear to him, and to be true to himself, that's what happened. It's real. It works. Mm-hmm. I love it.
Like, it's been raining the past, like, 3 or 4 episodes, and as Bruno is starting to say his goodbyes, this is when the clouds part and the sun reemerges. It's beautiful, and yeah, Giorno's golden soul just starts ascending into the heavens.
Giorno's going to be a gang star just by process of elimination.
yeah, his real plan all along.
I will be the most powerful mafioso in all of Italy. There's going to be like 3 of us left at the end.
Yeah. I mean, almost, it feels like basically every single elite gangster in this mafia has been killed by this point. So...
Once this is over, he's going to go back home. He's going to find Fugo and be like, Fugo, am I a gangstar? And Fugo's going to be like, yeah, I guess.
There's
like,
no one left.
Okay, all right, nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, Trish is now safe and sound in her non-destroyed body. Mista is pretty used to getting Giorno's spare parts by now, so he'll be okay.
Yep.
And nobody else knows that Bruno is double dead because they've been just like passed out in transit during that scene.
Mm-hmm.
As we see Bruno climbing into the golden glow surrounded by little naked baby cherubs.
Yeah, yep. This dude is getting the most like heavenly treatment out of any JoJo character, I think. Like
no one fights harder than Bruno Bucciarati. No one tries harder than Bruno Bucciarati. No one dies harder than Bruno Bucciarati.
Yeah. And Bruno has a couple final words here, basically telling, hey, Giorno, don't worry about me. I'm just returning to where I came from. I am going back to my origin. And this is when his soul just kind of wisps away and turns into golden clouds.
Yeah, Bruno confirms he's a gift from heaven.
Yeah.
Is Bruno Bucciarati a Christ figure? have we earned that, though? That's the question.
I don't think Jesus has ever unzipped his entire body to, well...
What do you think that the spear was?
No, yeah. Oh, man. Jesus with sticky fingers getting the spear into him, but he's, like, unzipping a hole in his body so it doesn't hurt as bad.
Mm-hmm. Giorno clearly made all the fishes to feed the 5,000. I don't know where the loaves came from, but I know where they found those fishes.
God damn it. Yeah, Giorno would do that, wouldn't he? Fucking hell, it fits. But yeah, as Giorno is looking up into the sky and seeing Bruno in the clouds, he like reaches his hand up into the sky, and as Giorno turns into clouds and dissipates, golden wisps...
Bruno, you mean?
Or Bruno, yeah. These golden wispy clouds surrounding Giorno's hands, or raised hand, dissipates, and suddenly he has the arrow in his clutches.
Perfect mirror, perhaps even reused animation from the OP.
Yep.
As we get the Chariot Requiem title card, as that stand has been utterly destroyed through orb mischief.
Rest in peace, Silver Chariot.
So yeah, this is what I meant earlier. If Chariot Requiem is the orbs and the visible part is just the shadow cast by the orbs, why would destroying it send Bruno's soul to rest with his brother in Christ?
Yeah. Oh, thinking too hard about these orbs. But after the mid-episode card, which actually comes in really early in the episode, we got a lot a lot is going to happen.
Unusually early. All the bystanders we've checked in on from time to time are getting their cells in order. This dog is named Benedict.
Yes.
Benedict, the unharmed dog.
Yeah, the dog's fine. Like the owner and the dog, they get their souls fixed and in the proper bodies, and Benedict just leaps into its owner's arms, and it's just so happy. Its tail is wagging. Benedict is a good dog.
You know who is having a really bad day? The cop who was a cop and then was locked up in the back of his car and now is chained to a pole through a hole in his face.
Oh my god, yeah. That's a bad day. Holy shit. What a nightmare.
He didn't do anything to deserve that we saw. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
He is a police officer in Part 5 Golden Wind and also a police officer. So that's 2 strikes.
Yeah. It's shaky ground he's on already.
At least his friend is no longer a bird and presumably can, like, recover the key to unlock him. But still, it's a rough way to wake up.
Yeah. We get a shot here of the very last remnants of Silver Chariot Requiem dissolving away. It's just like the face that's left that's melting away. And this episode does not address it. But hey, if everyone's souls are going back to normal, what just happened to Polnareff? Uh-oh.
There's... Polnareff is not seen for the rest of the episode.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Polnareff essentially stops existing once he falls from that lamppost very early in the previous episode.
Yeah.
I mean, it exists. The turtle was not destroyed to atoms, but I mean, like, he's not prominently framed. He doesn't speak. Like,
yeah, the last time we see him is when Giorno, like, makes the carpenter ants, because he can see him after he reattaches his arm. That he picks up the turtle.
He exists in the way Trish exists for most of these episodes.
Yeah.
Not now, though. Trish is a major player because we've run out of characters. It finally happened.
Yep. It's fucking everyone else had to fucking die.
So Diavolo has a breakdown because he's Fate's special boy. What the fuck?
Yep. He's thinking like monologuing about like the who was it that said that we're all soldiers chosen by fate or whatever? That's bullshit. I'm not a fucking soldier.
I tried to find out who said that, and you know what I found?
Huh.
A bunch of people on Reddit asking where this quote from JoJo's came from.
I guess a Rocky's the origin. Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah. But yeah, he's not a fucking soldier. He's like the king of kings, you know, like the episode title, huh?
You mean Bruno's dad.
Yes, yeah, Bruno's dad. Yep. And so yeah, he's having a little bit of a breakdown here, like, how dare everyone fucking defy me? This was supposed to be my day. It's my birthday, and I want to get a strike while we're playing laser bowling or fucking whatever. Come on.
I want an Oompa Loompa, and I want it now.
And so there's a bit here where Diavolo is thinking to himself that he needs to fucking retreat and like recuperate, come up with a new plan, and come back and get the arrow later.
But Trish is just awake enough now to be like, hey, Giorno, you have to kill him now, or he's going to run away and come back with a plan.
Yeah. And Diavolo, hearing this and seeing Giorno with the arrow, decides, wait, fuck, I got to do this right now, or else I am absolutely fucked. And I believe he straight up just says, I have to do this now for my dignity.
Yeah, because he has taken Trish's words, which were a little more involved, but as an insult to his pride and like, well, I gotta kill this dude right now or I don't deserve to be Fate's special little boy.
Yeah, and so he just lunges and sprints towards Giorno, and Giorno takes no time to just take that arrow and just stab his own stand with it.
Right in the chest. As Diavolo approaches. But wait, what's this? That didn't really happen yet.
Yeah.
That was just an epitaph vision, and there's more to it, including Giorno's like dead, bloody body lying at Diavolo's feet. Hell yes.
Yep.
So now we get the actual stab and some actual praise from Trish about how Giorno's awesome and is going to destroy that awful boss who sucks. And I hate my dad so much. But instead of the big glowing light, there's just a giant hole in Gold Experience's chest.
Yep.
It looks like Giorno got shot through with a cannonball.
Yeah, and also like the hand, Golden Experience's hand that was holding the arrow, all of his fingers just explode off. They just crumble off. Diavolo's just like, oh, fuck yeah, he's already exploding. Hell yes, I'm so glad I didn't run away. This is awesome. I'm gonna crush this dude's skull in.
Quote, did you already forget what the detestable turtle said?
Yeah.
So the point he's bringing up is that, you know, the arrow seeks a wielder, someone who's worthy of its power. Like, this blonde, cannoli-haired little freak boy, you think Mr. Ants is worthy of this? No, the arrow will destroy him, and I'm gonna help. This is my fate, my destiny. Fuck off. And so he does this huge knockout punch to Gold Experience's face. And again, the arrow is dropped. And again, he goes to pick it up. And again, it slips through his fingers. Who really is worthy, huh? Huh? Thor, Love and Thunder in theaters.
And so yeah, when he punched Golden Experience like square in the face, he basically caved Golden Experience's face in. Like, there's just a big hole in like where its right eye should be. And Giorno is just falling to the ground like with blood streaming out of his face and his stand's face. But then the camera gets closer and we can see the shattered face of Golden Experience has a new face underneath it.
Yes, with human eyeballs.
Human
eyeballs.
Yes, with a haunted look. And Diavolo, he reached for that arrow, and it slipped through his hands. And it didn't just slip through his hands; it just started levitating into the air, going in a direction. And it goes to Golden Experience's arm and like pokes itself through its wrist and just wriggles all the way up Golden Experience's arm until it like fuses with its shoulder, like inside the arm.
Yeah, like Gold Experience has sort of an exoskeleton situation going on, especially in these moments. And so the arrow is snaking and twisting up through like the cracks left in this beating it's just received.
And Diavolo is just like very confused as to what's happening. And he looks down at Golden Experience, and much like Echoes from part 4, it has molted.
Yes,
it's left behind its exoskeleton. It's split open and it's hollow on the inside. And Giorno and his brand new stand are they're just fucking flying now. They're just floating.
Are flying in the air.
He's gone Super Saiyan.
Yeah, this is a level beyond Gold Experience, let me tell you. So Trish says that the arrow has bonded to Giorno for all eternity. I guess she just has a hunch about that.
It's at least inside his stand's body now, which certainly makes it harder to get.
It's his head. It's in the face now.
Yep.
So yeah, say hello to Gold Experience Requiem, because what Giorno really needed all this time is 8 new ill-defined powers.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the look of this guy. We keep the same color palette, essentially, of a very like pale gold. Almost white gold is the base color, but with purple, orange, and a little bit of green highlights going on. Yeah,
it's a little bit more muscular now. It's not like ripped or anything, but if the original Gold Experience was just kind of lean, this one's gone to the gym a bit more.
I like the head. I like the head and face a lot. The rest of it is fine, honestly.
The rest of, like, from it, basically the shoulders down, it's a very slight change from the original to this one. It's almost just like you got a palette swap in a fighting game, kind of. But yeah, like neck up, it looks pretty cool.
So we got like a purple Speedo situation, essentially, but it's all like shiny armor. There's an upside down heart over the sternum, is generally what you'd call the shape, or like a very soft blobby arrowhead, perhaps.
Yeah.
As the bright purple sternum plate. Everywhere along the arms, shoulders, and thighs are little vents that bits of orange peek through, and that's like it's a good color palette. Honestly, I'm just the design. It seems pretty standard for part 5 stands, frankly. But yeah, now we get to the head. It's got this big, like very tall collar in the back that just goes very flat to the collarbones in the front, like a big. Wearing an ice cream scoop or a hood that doesn't get pulled up or something.
Yeah. And the face, like the head, so it kind of looks like the original Gold Experience pulled off its bicycle helmet, and this is what this was his hair underneath or something.
Or the bicycle helmet split open and flared out into this sort of these spikes. Oh, it's good.
Yeah, and it's actual face, like it has very much more like human eyes, but even its jaw and stuff, it looks a lot more human now. It's missing a nose, but its facial structure resembles Giorno more than it did before. Stronger jaw and stuff like that. And yeah, he just looks kind of cool.
And dead center of the forehead, like his T-zone, is the arrowhead. The arrowhead in purple now to go with the color palette. It's really good. It looks so good.
Yeah. Giorno's first attack is to shoot a fucking golden laser out of his fingertip. It is a laser, but like it creates the golden laser out of a little pebble that's levitating near him.
And the laser shoots through King Crimson's hand, because everybody needs to be a little bit religious. We got some stigmata happening now.
Yep.
I guess we did already pierce his palms.
Yeah.
Why set your story in Italy if it's not going to get real Catholic at some point, I guess?
Yeah.
And so this laser burns through King Crimson's palm and like blasts a hole in the building behind it, and the rubble turns into scorpions.
Like like a dozen scorpions that fly at Diavolo. One of them lands on him. He rips the scorpion off as fast as he can, but it already stung him and tore a chunk of flesh off of him in the process. This is when Giorno just starts talking about truth.
Yeah. The real power is truth because truth lasts forever, and so therefore let's fight.
Yeah. The wills and determination of all of his dead friends are with him forever, and they will power him to annihilating evil, specifically you, Diavolo.
But all of King Crimson stuff still like works.
Yeah,
he's still in this. He's in his old super ripped body. So he's free. He doesn't have to like puppet anybody. He's got epitaph. He can obliterate time. Come on, there's no greater power than having ultimate, I don't know, veto power over causality. Come on.
Yeah. Meanwhile, okay, so Trish and Mista are here witnessing this fight, but they're kind of like when, you know, the sideliners from Dragon Ball have to watch the crazy fights in Dragon Ball Z and all they can do is commentate on it.
I've always thought of Mista as a bit of a Yajirobe. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're both very smelly. This is confirmed.
Oh, yeah.
Very hairy, too.
I mean, this is explained because, like, their souls just got reunited in their bodies, and they're very weak, especially because one of them got a hole punched through them. So they're just kind of on the ground watching, struggling to do anything but that. So we get a little insight into the thoughts of Diavolo here, and he's a little freaked out because he couldn't see even with King Crimson's abilities, he could not see the moment that Giorno launched that laser beam attack. He was still able to save himself because his vision just showed him with his hand up blocking that laser, which was enough. And so he's like, okay, King Crimson's still like doing stuff. This powered up stand certainly is really fucking strong, but that's all it is. I'm just gonna predict the future and fucking kill the shit out of this dude.
Yeah,
here I go.
Yeah. So just before it's time to obliterate time, Mista does fire off a salvo, but hey, Diavolo dodges all that. He sees like not our typical punch rush, but like an actual boxing combination coming.
Yeah.
And so he dodges that too and tosses some blood into Giorno's eyes to blind him. That's sort of a go-to move lately for him. And while he is in obliterated time, he takes a little hair peek through epitaph, because I guess he can also do it that way, and sees himself puncture punching Giorno's heart out. Yes,
he straight up tears Giorno's heart out in the prediction of the future. And so he's psyched.
Yeah. This is great news, except it's not what happens.
Yeah. King Crimson winds up and goes in for his biggest punch ever, and inches away from Giorno, his punch just stops.
And everything goes backwards. He goes back into his wind-up, and the blood flies out of Giorno's eyes, and the bullets pass backwards, and now Diavolo is seeing himself in many time slice clones as they all react a second after one another to this strange and confusing experience.
Yeah.
And so now it's time for Gold Experience Requiem itself to speak independently, a thing Gold Experience never did.
Yeah.
And explain what is happening, which is that, again, truth is the true strength.
Yeah. So, yeah, that like time is still, we are still in like erased time zone. Like we haven't left the King Crimson zone yet. Gold Experience Requiem can act within it and just saying like, this is my power. Not even my user Giorno Giovanna knows what the fuck I do. Which is basically, okay, JoJo fights a lot of the time could be compared to when children do fights in the playground and go, well, I have magma blocking armor. Well, I have magma that can go through magma blocking armor, and just making up shit on the fly like that. Golden Experience Requiem's power is basically, no, you didn't.
Yeah.
You didn't do that.
If King Crimson is the master of causality, then Gold Experience Requiem is entirely divorced from causality.
Yeah.
he just achieves his effect just cuz. While in Obliterated Time, King Crimson's whole thing is like, I am the only cause in a world of effects. Gold Experience Requiem just one-ups that by saying, I have effects without causes. The end.
Yeah.
The end. I don't need you. I bypass your mechanism. The end.
Yeah.
Good day, sir.
And this entire time, Diavolo keeps looking into the future and seeing him punching Giorno and tearing his heart out and being faster than Gold Experience can move. And Gold Experience Requiem just says, okay, you keep seeing, like, what you are seeing will happen, but I'll never let you get there. Diavolo, keeps rewinding back to the start of this, and eventually he just goes in for another big punch, and Gold Experience just goes no, and just fucking gets him with a big-ass punch rush instead. To be continued!
Mm-hmm. I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will be continued. Because I'm very surprised that there are 2 episodes remaining. If there was 1 episode remaining, it would make perfect sense to me.
Yep.
We finish the beatdown. We have a little denouement, a little epilogue. That's an episode. That's solid.
Yeah.
What's the other one? What is going to happen?
The final 2 episodes of part 5 are things I was not fucking expecting. It's interesting, and I'm very curious how you will feel about the final 2 episodes. But yes, the cliffhanger of this episode is just Giorno wins. He's winning.
Giorno is wins.
Giorno
is wins. Bruno is Jesus. Trish is talking. Finally.
God damn. I like Trish. She should have been in the show way more. Should have seen her use that stand way more. It's fun.
I mean, yeah, the one, use of Spice Girl's ability in this episode is exactly what we were talking about back when it debuted. That it's just this surprise assist that turns Mista's distraction into a slingshot to win the day.
Yeah. Also, I was just thinking, if Spice Girl came into the show earlier, or she had a much more active role when she did appear in the series, I want to see Spice Girl interact with Sex Pistols, the 2 stands that can talk.
Yes. I want to see Spice Girl tell Bruno, hey, you could be nicer.
Yeah.
Everyone wants you to be nicer, and none of the human beings are going to say it, but I'm a stand. So, you know what? Let's go.
Because Spice Girl seems like a lady that won't take shit.
Yes.
She'll just say what she feels right there on the spot. She don't give a fuck. But yeah, that is the end of the 2 episodes for today. Lots of wild shit in this one.
Yeah. Wild stuff. Wild, it's in the title. What do you expect?
Yeah.
This is not JoJo's totally normal and fully foreshadowed adventure.
Yeah. The boss just suddenly coming up with the solution to punch his mind orb, and that mind orbs exist, is the craziest thing. I wish it was foreshadowed, but I also just enjoy the insanity of it just coming up out of nowhere.
There's something about the American transcendentalist vision of the self as an unlidded eye passing through the forest to the mind orb. I want a definition of the mind orb that is clearer, so I know what to think, so that I know what we're really going for. Is it the mind? Is it the soul? Is it the self? Are those distinct things? Are those the same thing? And so much of part 5, starting from Black Sabbath, is telling you that a stand user's stand is their soul. That's the same thing, but also not really, because when we get our soul swap, it's always called a soul swap, never a mind swap. It's something in addition to the stand, because they're not sure whether their stands came with them or not. They have to test it. Or maybe that's just their fallibility as human beings, and souls really are the stand, so obviously it came with them. It is them in a very real sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. I want...
So one thing with the...
I want to know.
One thing with the soul/mind thing is if I remember correctly, because I had the subtitles on while watching this, Diavolo always refers to it just as the soul, and it's the English dub that changes some of the uses of the word soul to mind. Like, the one time he says soul is or mind, is when he says soul like 3 times previously in the last sentence, so I don't know if they were trying to not just use the same word over and over. I don't know.
I don't know. I need a very trusted, very fluent in Japanese person to help me out with this, because, like, with that thing we were talking about last week with Polnareff saying something and then discovering that idea that he already said, I don't know if I trust the subtitles any better for these very particular, very fine-grained distinctions that do have big repercussions.
Yeah, when I came back to rewatch these episodes for this podcast, I had made up in my own mind, like what I said earlier, what I thought was going on with the orb, which I feel is the better explanation, which is that the orbs is the actual Silver Chariot Requiem.
That makes so much sense.
Like
except
the stand is the light source orb, and the light source hitting your soul then creates the shadow of your own soul in the form of this projection of Silver Chariot Requiem.
Maybe just the final exertion of it is what kills Bruno, or maybe like he knows his body can't accept him, so if he fixes it, then it's time to ascend.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go with that. Let's say that Chariot Requiem is the series of orbs, and killing the orb didn't kill Bruno, except that it would have sent his soul to an unfit vessel, so he goes to heaven.
That's kind of how I thought it worked, at least. Yeah.
You've convinced me. I want that. That is what I say now.
Yeah.
Now I say that, yes.
Yeah. Because, I mean, like, punching the orb hurts the stand, so the orb has to be the stand, right?
But that's really not the sense that I got from any of the dialogue about it.
Yeah. I don't know. I like my explanation so much more.
Because the dialogue really points to it being an intrinsic property of the metaphysical person.
Yeah.
Everyone has their own orb that casts this light through which we see Chariot Requiem.
I can at least fairly confidently say the soul orb never comes back as a thing in JoJo. Oh my god. Soul orb.
The Sorb.
The Sorb.
Oh, the mind orb. It truly is morbing all over us.
Oh, the morb. But man, Boss's voice actor killing it these 2 episodes. I love it.
And killing everybody else.
Oh yeah, he's a busy guy.
We started with 6 Passione boys.
Yeah.
We are down to 2 Passione boys and the new girl who joined halfway.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way that if the whole badge thing system is still in place, she doesn't get a badge at the end of this, right?
Yeah.
She's in the group, like, deep now, right?
Yeah, like, at this point, you gotta repopulate the ranks. And you know what? She doesn't even need to go through the whole get a stand to be in the mafia thing. She's got one already.
Yeah.
She passed the interview.
It gave the interview. It's very talkative.
Yeah.
I mean, if she wants to be, I guess. But what else does she have going on in her life? Really? Come on now.
Yeah.
She hasn't been talking about getting back to that shop she worked in on Sardinia last month. Come on.
Mm-hmm. We only got 2 episodes left of part 5. I'm very interested to see your reaction to these 2, and also to rewatch them myself, because I don't remember them extremely well, and I'm curious how I will feel about them with the English dub, because I feel like a lot of part 5 I have enjoyed more with the English dub, partially just because I think the English dialogue, it flows a lot better than the subtitled stuff does.
It really speaks to the credit of the like dub script authors and the direction, because if you take all these same actors and put them in another show, their dub can still suck.
Yep.
You know how many people in part 4, which is also a dub we praised regularly, were in Al Noah Zero, and you know how bad that dub sucks?
Oh, I don't know about that dub.
Oh, I mean, I watched it because just to see it's all flat and lifeless. And like, I mean, that's the story. It's just a bunch of emotionally stunted weirdos, but not in fun ways, just in very cold ways, doing emotionless war at each other. But it's just the main rival, like anti-hero, shares an English voice with Koichi, the most vibrant and wonderful little boy in part 4. And God, he sucks in that.
Yeah.
Because everybody sucks in that.
Was that the show that you showed me a early fight from, where they had that mech fight and they had to find the weak point on it by seeing, like, it had a shield they had to get through or something? Or was that a different thing? Oh, that is it? Okay.
Yeah. That is the mech show where fights, when they are good, are very much like science-based stand fights.
Okay, yeah.
And when they're bad, it's just the main guy's like, why don't we shoot it from above if we can't get at it from the left or right? And everybody acts like they didn't already think of that, and they do it and it works. Like, come on, dude. Come on. So thank you very much for joining us. A slightly shorter, because again, we only talked about 2 today, and we are talking again about 2 more next week.
Like, we'll be doing a recap episode with a special guest after that. But then, like, we're kind of caught up because part 6 isn't done being animated yet.
At time of recording, we haven't decided what we're going to do and when.
Yeah.
That might still be the case when we talk to our guest, but by the time you hear that guest episode, we will have decided. And if I'm not saying it live when we record that, I will splice in an announcement.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, there certainly is other JoJo stuff to take a look at.
Whether what comes next is a break or a filler arc or related materials or just going on to part 6, and then there will be another break or filler arc or something in the middle of part 6, whatever it is, our show will continue. That's for sure.
At this point of recording, at least, we at least have a release date for the next chunk of part 6. But I don't think it will be the rest of it. I think it's probably going to be 39 episodes like part 5 was, so this would only be the second third of the show.
But that's looking so far into the future. Again, in the near future, we are going to be coming at you with episodes 38 and 39, Gold Experience Requiem, and The Sleeping Slave. Oh boy, another terrible thing to put in JoJo's slavery.
Yep. So, yeah, until then, see you later.
I'm hoping that's metaphorical. To be continued.
Oh, it extremely is.